Well, it's a beautiful day, and I want to welcome you to Inspiration with Felix Dazi. My name definitely is Felix Dazi, and if you're watching this on television, we want to say welcome. We want you to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is INSPIRATION. That is Inspiration with Felix Dazi. We want you to subscribe and also share with your friends and your loved ones, and you are going to enjoy content that will inspire you for the next level. Today, I will be interviewing a man I so admire. He is, I should say, a mindset strategist, and he is into a lot of things. I to allow my guests to introduce themselves. So he's going to introduce himself, but I call him the Steve Harvey of Ghana. You're going to enjoy him. You are going to have an amazing time in terms of knowledge concerning the transfiguration of your mind, concerning the transformation of your mind. After this break, my guest for today is Mr. Oscar Bimpong, and he'll be sharing something with us on mindset. He has a book, Mindset Revolution. After this break, we'll get to talk. Don't go anywhere. This is Inspiration. I'll be back. Welcome back, and you're still watching Inspiration right here with me, Felix Dazi. Don't forget this program shows every Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on Truth TV, where they repeat on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Alternatively, you can go on our YouTube channel on Inspiration with Felix Dazi, and you will find whatever that is being shared there. My guest for today is the one and only Mr. Oscar.
Thank you, Felix.
Good to see you.
Good to see
Long
you.
time.
Long time. Yeah.
It's been like how many years? Three?
Yeah, about 3-4 years.
Okay, so you don't stay in Ghana. Yeah, you don't stay in Ghana. So.
But we are spending more time there.
You are spending more time there.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yes.
All right. Let's get to find out who Mr. Oscar Bimpong is. For those who don't know.
Actually, Oscar Bimpong is that simple guy that is positioning himself to transform minds.
Okay.
From individual, from groups, and to the corporate world.
Okay.
The whole ideology is we have neglected the mind for far too long.
Okay.
But the mind is the anchor of our success or failure in life.
Okay.
So I'm taking us back to the foundation of our success or failure in life.
Okay.
And I think if we can get that right, then everything will fall into place.
The foundation of our success.
Yes. It starts from them.
Okay. All right.
A lot of people think it's about what they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it's about what you carry here.
Okay.
And so I've been doing a lot of work with corporate Ghana.
Okay.
In terms of mindset transformation and attitudinal change. What I've seen in the corporate world is when you look at their budget, like from now to December, they are really budgeting for next year. And every time I speak to them, you look at their budget, about almost 100% it was skill set and almost near nothing on behavioral training.
Okay.
But the point is that you can have all the talent, you can have all the skills. But then if the behavior that is backing it, the attitude, the mindset that is backing it is wrong, then there is a problem.
Okay.
And that is why I come in to help organizations to align the mindset of their staff to the vision of the company.
Okay.
Because everybody that works through your organization enters with a particular mindset. And if that mindset is not aligned to your vision, mission, and core values, then trust me, some organizations think they are doing well, but they are not. If they can maximize the mindset of their staff, they'll be running.
Is it the company that, or let me put it in this way, is it the duty of the company to work on the mindset, or the individual is supposed to work on his or her mindset?
When we went to school, right? One of the main reasons we go to school is after school to have a job or start our vision and all that, right? But when we go to school, do they even teach us about how to manage money? Because when you get a job, you make money. But do they teach you? They don't. Right? They don't. Yes, at all. So, but they give you the skill set in terms of finance so that you can work. Right? So, what that one tells you is that your personal development is your personal responsibility.
Interesting. Let me find out. I've seen you done a lot of corporate trainings and all that, but how did you discover that the mind is the most powerful tool that an individual possesses?
So I wrote my book, Mindset Revolution.
That's what is on the screen. Right?
Yes. Based on something that happened to me for like 2 decades. So I started using phone in 1999, right? And the first phone that I had, at a point in time, the phone fell down and the screen cracked, right? Subsequent phones, the same story is happening. So it reached the time, anytime I have a new phone, it starts ringing in my mind that this one too will fall and this one too will crack.
Is it the vibration that makes it fall?
I don't even know. But lo and behold, this one too will fall down and not to crack. And the last one that really, it was like, this is the end. I need to do something about it. It was 3 years ago. I had a very nice Samsung phone. I mean, nice. That was like almost 2 weeks. I fell down and the screen cracked. And something is like, I need to find out what is actually wrong. So I started researching about the things of the mind. And the first thing that I picked up is, for my phones not to crack, I need to start changing the narrative here that my phones are not meant to be cracked. And I started being conscious about my phone. Now, fast forwarded to today, this is the phone I've held for the last 3 years. That the
3 years?
That the screen hasn't cracked. And that is the reason why I haven't changed my phone. Now, what I want to tell you is that everything starts here. Okay. You cannot change what is on the outside if you cannot change what is here. Okay. The narrative can only be changed if you change what is here. Now, when I started changing my mindset that my phones are not meant to be cracked, I started being conscious. I started affirming that positive affirmation that my phones are designed to last. That was the start. Then I started being conscious of holding my phone. The rest is history. So I was sitting down and I'm like, this thing is happening to a lot of people, but probably in different scenarios. Mm-hmm. So I started looking at like somebody is in their fifth relationship, and in their minds is thinking that this one will not.
This one will end. Yes. They will chop breakfast actually.
And I'm like, let me share my experience with people, and that's how my book came about. Mindset Revolution, re-engineering the mind from prison to purpose.
Okay. Do you think a lot of people fail in life because of the reset? They fail to reset their minds properly.
You know, the mind is so powerful that if you start delving into the things of the mind, you realize that we've done a lot of things wrong, right? The most dangerous thing that can happen to anyone is to be programmed.
But all of us are programmed in one way or the other. Okay. I can boldly tell you that some people are programmed to fail. Based on what? Based on what they know, what they've done, right? Now, with my phone, I was programmed. And that is why anytime I start thinking about getting a new phone, it starts ringing that this one to the phone. That is programming. Now, let me give you a typical example also of programming. So I've lived in the UK for like 2 decades, right? So better part of it I've been driving, right? Now, UK drives on the right, Ghana drives on the left. Okay. Anytime I'm in town, instead of going to the left, that is the driver's side, I'm going on the right. That is the passenger side. Right? Okay. One time I visited a friend and a friend.
Instead of going to the left, I went to the right, and my friend was asking me, Oscar, is everything okay with you? Of course, everything is okay with me, just that I've been programmed, right? So I've been programmed to go on the left, on the right, the last 2 decades. I cannot jump and start going on the left, whether even I'm conscious or unconscious.
Because the programming can be so powerful that it becomes an unconscious state. And when that happens, if programming is on a negative tangent, then I can only tell you that you are born to fail. If your programming is on a positive tangent, then you are on a tangent to succeed. Okay. So programming can be very dangerous. Like I bite my fingers, right? I've been programmed to bite my fingers. Okay. I don't even think about it.
It just happens.
It just happens, right? Okay. Now, before I can stop biting my fingers, I need to be very conscious that I'm not supposed to bite my fingers. Okay. So I get to the stage where I'm going this way, I'm like, no, this is not meant to be done. I start looking for the blade, right? Mm-hmm. And it takes time, effort, and that is why a lot of people are not able to get out of the negative tangent of programming. So some people, they believe that Ghana is difficult, they cannot make it here.
Ghana is tight.
Ghana is
The economy and all that.
Ghana is I think there is one word that is a national anthem in this country. And you meet about 10 people, 8 people are going to tell you that it's not easy.
It's not easy.
You see?
How are you doing?
They've been programmed to accept that life is not easy. Now, fellas, you cannot consistently say it's not easy and life becomes easy.
Okay.
Because what you consistently think about, you become. If you consistently think that you cannot make it in this country, so be it. Because it means that the mind that is going to control what is on the outside is being programmed that is difficult. So what makes you think that what is on the outside you can beat it? What is on the outside you can overcome? Never. Until you win the battle here, what is on the outside is a lost battle already before you go on the pitch.
What if everything shows that the country is not easy? And you have to think like that. Things are on a speed dial. The prices are increasing. Everything about the economy, for example, in Ghana, everything about Ghana, you find out that today you buy something for 20 cities, the next day it's 50 cities. Do you still have to think that way? You have to consciously think that way. How would they change the prices of things or the situation at hand?
Do you know a lot of people make too much money in COVID? Do you know that?
In COVID. COVID-19.
COVID-19. A lot of people make too much money. Why? Because others were waiting for COVID to go, whilst others were working in the COVID during the COVID period. Okay. Right? Now, what a lot of people they do is that they always wait. Right? Now, to answer your question, right? We all know things are tough, things are difficult. But in the midst of that, people are still succeeding. So for me, there are two choices. I'd rather stay with the few who are succeeding in the midst of the challenges than to stay with the majority who are complaining. It's easy to complain. It's easy to stay on the side that it cannot be done. It's so difficult. It's so challenging. Does that cost you? Does that cost you money for you to think that it's difficult? It's so challenging. It doesn't cost you money.
It doesn't.
But then, if I start thinking that, look, in the midst of this challenging, I will still succeed. I will still push. I'm not going to give up. Is it costing money?
No, not yet.
But one of them is setting a strong foundation for success, whilst another one is forming a weak foundation for failure. So it's about where you want to sit, where you want to develop your mind, where you want to sit with the mindset that you carry. It's just a matter of choice.
Okay.
So I would rather sit on the side that, though it's challenging, though it's difficult, but I'm going out today and win.
Okay. You did something amazing with Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and I saw it. I was blown away. You had to speak to them. You had to work on their mindset. With football, things are different. It's a different ball game. No training, no tactics. You are not going to get there. How did you get them into that winning mentality? Because they did amazing. That was last season, right? They did 2021 season. They did amazingly well, and I saw pictures of you and them with a trophy. I think we have that on our screen with you and them on with their trophy and all that. How did you get to do that for football?
So, a very good friend of mine introduced me to the CEO, and we talked about things of them. I said, look, so I think the meeting was, on Monday or Tuesday. He said, Friday, I want you to come and speak to my team.
Wow.
We need this mindset transformation.
Wow.
And to be honest, I'm so humbled that when they win the league, they really acknowledge me that I'm part of the success story, because I think for 8 to 9 years now they have not won the league. And for me, it's a very humbling experience. But one of the things I took out of it is that do you know that a lot of teams they lose the match in the dressing room before they go on the pitch.
They lose the match in the dressing room. Okay.
Percent potentially they will lock them out. So let's say Fan of Afapa is going to play Barcelona. Right now, Barcelona is at Europa team. It doesn't matter. No, I'm a Man U fan.
So
don't let's go there. Don't let us go there. But what I'm trying to say is that success and failure start there. So
if they are going to play, you were talking about that.
Yes. So winning mentality It's not absolute, right? But you need to maximize your winning to succeed, right? So somebody gets an A star in mathematics. It doesn't mean that the person got 100%. Maybe the person got 80%, but he got an A star. It means that there was 20% margin of error, but he's still an A star student, right? What it means is that as footballers, as a team, you need to maximize your wins. Maximizing your wins means that your wins must be more than your draws and your losses. But then you should have that winning mentality that every time you go on the pitch, you are there to win. Right? There is no if or there is no but. We are going as a team to win. Now, when we can win the match here, then 30% of the match is won before we go on the field.
No matter the opponent?
Because you see,
It is the mindset, right? Look, the national science math quiz was done yesterday, right? I can bet you that some of the schools probably they believe that look, we've already lost it, right? Before it started, right? They're looking at the caliber of Presec and they are like, and they follow them through, and I know these guys they are better than us. So you go to the quiz with a losing mentality, right? One of the things I told the Kotoko players is that hard work doesn't break the bones, right? But with the right mindset, with hard work, you cannot afford to lose, right? Beginning of this year, they called me back because they want to start the year winning the league again, right? And it's about hard work, dedication, and having the right mindset. I told them that if you want to go and play with Ronaldo, right, and training starts at 4 o'clock, and you are on pitch 4 o'clock, it finishes 6 o'clock. You carry your bags and go home. You can never play with Ronaldo. Because look at the work ethics of Ronaldo. He comes to training an hour or two earlier and stays an hour or two after. You just come in on time and leave on time. No, you are not maximizing your potential. You can never get to the pinnacle of your success because that person who has really succeeded at that level is still putting in what? Going the extra mile, and you are sitting in Kotoko and you think you can win. No, it's not going to work. It's all in the mind. The mind must be worked on before everything is being worked on. And I've got a way of saying it, that you need to work on your mind before you work on your vision. Many times, a lot of people work on the vision, neglecting the mind, forgetting that the mind is the anchor of your success or failure in life. So if this one is built for purpose, everything on the outside will work.
Okay. Interesting. How do you work on your mind?
How do you work
Because
on your
we
mind?
talk about the
Yeah.
mindset. The mindset
Yes, sir.
has to be positive.
Yes, sir.
The mindset has to be going to
Yes.
see things differently.
Yeah.
How do you actually work on your mind? Now the work itself.
So the work itself, one of the things I want everybody that is watching this to start doing is what I call positive affirmations.
Okay.
Positive affirmations is to consistently say to yourself who you want to become. Let me give myself as an example. I want to be that guy in Africa and beyond that when you want to talk about mindset, my name should pop up at every boardroom. Other things I don't care, but when it's about mindset, I should be the guy. You understand?
Your name should be mentioned.
My name should be mentioned. In Africa, like we need somebody to come and transform the minds of our organization. It doesn't matter whether it's South Africa, where is it? Oscar Bimpong's name should pop up. That is what I'm working towards. So every time I'm walking, every free time I have, I say, Oscar, the world is your stage. Oscar, the world is your
You
stage.
say that to yourself.
Say to myself consistently as much as I can. Ghana is too small for me. Africa is my stage. The world is my stage. There are certain things I say to myself. I say to myself that I want to get to a stage that when you need me to speak or train in 2022, you have to wait till 2023.
You say that to yourself.
I say that to
Like I
myself.
had to wait for
I'm so booked that you have to wait a year.
Like I had waited for months.
yes, like you waited for months. Does it mean it's working? Because if you waited for months to get to me, right?
Today we plan and
It doesn't work.
you are in Kakwale, you are
I'm in
in
Tamale.
Yes.
And it started working. Look, a very big company called me, 2 companies. Wow. And they are like, we need you to come and train our staff. And I'm like, I'm booked. But previously, my calendar was free 365 days a year.
But you have to tell yourself.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that what I've been telling myself is working. Right? Wow. So Oscar, it will reach a time you're so good that people will be waiting for you again. constantly say to yourself, right? So positive affirmations is to say to yourself who you want to become, right? And you have to be consistent with it. I don't know how it works, but over time you see that your life is skewing to that direction. But you cannot consistently say it to yourself without taking action.
Okay. So
A lot of yes, you positive mindset is useless if you don't take action.
Okay.
It's like praying and you want a job, but then you wait at home waiting for a miracle. It doesn't work that way. Your prayer and fasting is useless. You need to go out there and push. You need to go out there and work. You need to go out there and look for what you want. Because that is the only way door opens. So with your positive mindset and that you move on. Then there's something we call auto-hypnosis. Auto-hypnosis is,
You know, the subconscious mind is so powerful. Your subconscious mind, briefly, is it is like your memory bank. It stores every information from the day you are born to the day you die. Right? Now, if
you are 40 years now, and you've been so negative in life. You know, I meet people and sometimes I can count how many times they can say it's not easy when you're having a conversation with them in 5 minutes.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, right? Sometimes those people who are even saying it in their minds, they are doing well, which is okay. They have been able to achieve certain things in life that they wanted. They've got a car, they've got a house, they're like, I've got a good career. But I can tell you, if you change the narrative, you can maximize your potential and even become more of a winner. Right? So auto-hypnosis is, if all your life you'll be feeding
the subconscious mind, which is your memory bank, with negativity, then it has to be, you have to get to a stage where you need to change that narrative in the subconscious mind. How do you do it?
there is a way. There is a book called The Honeymoon Effect. I wish everybody should get that book.
The Honeymoon Effect.
Yes. Okay. Get that book and read. And it talks about you can program your subconscious with who you want to become. So, for example, if you are about to sleep, you can put on headphones, right? And who you want to become, you can state it, whether on your iPod or your phone or whatever. Because the moment you fall asleep, your conscious mind stops playing and the subconscious mind continues. So it means that it's only your subconscious mind that is really working. So whatever you are hearing once you are asleep, it starts over time reprogramming your mind to who you want to be.
Okay.
This is very deep. But it's something everybody can start practicing.
Wow.
And it takes conscious effort for you to do that. So over time, if Felix, you see, Felix, you can tell yourself, right, that you can go to CNN. You're going to be an anchor on CNN, right? You can tell yourself that BBC will be looking for you. Start saying to yourself consistently and start reprogramming the subconscious mind that you know your local champions anchor. But you're going to be an international anchor, right? Say it to yourself, continue to work. I don't know when, but what I know that if you are consistent and you continue, one day it will happen.
One day by the time we wake up, it's Felix Dazi on the BBC World Africa.
And the last thing I want to talk about is you need to be conscious about yourself.
Conscious about yourself.
You need to be conscious.
How do you do that? Yourself.
Your mind, you need to be conscious about the things that you do.
Okay.
The things that create in your mind, right? So for example, I'll give an example of biting my finger. I need to be conscious about it. That when I'm about to bite my finger, I should stop. You should stop. And that is how you reprogram the mind.
Interesting. We'll be talking to Mr. Oscar Bimpong. I told you you're going to learn a lot. I have to play this interview again. I'll play this interview again so that I'll listen over and over, especially the part he spoke about the honeymoon effect.
Yeah.
That's a very powerful tune. Very, very. And there's a book on that. There's a book on that.
Yes.
All right. But your book, Mindset Theory.
Mindset Revolution.
Mindset Revolution. That's your book, and that's what we have on our screen by Oscar Bimpong. Let's talk about the beginnings of this, because you didn't start out like that. You didn't start out with training big companies and then going out for meetings and all that. You have to start small.
Yes.
And it started in the UK because I follow you a lot.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I know about it. Tell me about the beginning of all these things because you were a lecturer.
Yes.
You still lecture?
Not in Ghana.
Not in Ghana.
Yeah, Ghana, not in Ghana at the moment.
Okay.
And for some few years now, I've been spending more time.
More time
so,
in Ghana. Okay.
Yeah, so
You used to lecture in the UK. How did all these things start?
it's a long journey. I don't know whether we have time, but I'll try to summarize it. So 2007, 2008, I was in Ghana running my business. Right? Okay. A young guy came to me and he was like, "Oh, they have some business opportunity. I should come and have a look at it." I'll have it. As curious as I am, I went for the.
Realize, oh, this is very good. I'm like, I'm going to even use your product, but probably I'll not do the business side. But this guy pestered me, and I'm like, okay, let me try and do the business in my own small way because I was running my printing press in Kumasi and other small businesses. Okay. Then one day the guy introduced me. I started going to their presentation, and they've got the motivational sessions in their presentation.
So one day they asked me to do it,
to do the motivational session.
To be honest,
I did it, and that was my first time.
Okay.
And I had a kind of standing ovation.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, and people like the message was so good, man. How have you been doing this and all that? I'm like, whoa.
So since 2008, I've never been. Oh, I've been consistent with what I'm doing, and I've been pushing. Okay. So my first book, I started writing motivational messages on social media. I started, and this is where I always talk about consistency. I did it for 4 years. Monday to Friday without fail for 4 years.
Monday to Friday, you were always pushing.
I was pushing.
You were always putting it.
It was called Inspirational Wisdom for Today. You can even join the book.
Okay.
Yes, I was so consistent. Right? It doesn't matter what is happening to me. By 7 a.m., it's in your inbox. A guy was like, I don't set my alarm anymore because I know Oscar will wake me up.
But you see, success, excellence, right? Is what they say you habitually do.
Okay.
Right? People are not just excellent, but they are just consistent because being consistent
will make it what? Will make you what? Excellent.
Wow, I love that. Can you rewind and press play on that? Being consistent will make you excellent.
So, excellence, they say, is what you habitually do. So, people are not just excellent, but people are consistent.
Okay.
Because your consistency drives your excellence. Because the more you do it, the better you become, then excellence is built. Right? So, I have been doing this the last 14 years and I've seen that I've been growing. I'm becoming bigger. 14. And I'm talking about 14 years of consistency. You see, a lot of people, there is one thing I always say, I was on Joy FM the whole of this month.
Yeah.
I just finished yesterday.
I was listening.
And I talked about purposeful mindset. And I said that
a lot of people are struggling in life because they haven't found their purpose. They haven't found what they want to do for the rest of your life. Felix, what you are doing, do you want to do it for the rest of your life? I'm asking you.
Yeah, I want to do it.
So you find a purpose, right?
Exactly. I like it.
The best thing that can happen to a man to sit at a place where they have found that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And that is what has happened to me. So it has reached a time I have to sacrifice so much for me to do this. Because this is what brings the joy. And
Despite doing that, fulfilled.
Yeah, that is the right word. I feel fulfilled, right? And the thing that can happen to you is that you got to the stage where you are making money out of it. So you are fulfilled and you are making money. You are the happiest man on earth.
But did it start with making money?
No. It started with me on the desert. The whole year nobody calls me to speak. The whole year nobody calls me to train. I'm talking about 365 days in a year. If I tell you the number of pastors and bishops I have on my phone, if they don't even call me to come and speak in a church, it looks like, look, this thing will never work. It reached a time I wasn't having platform. I started creating my own platform just to speak to people for free with my own money. People were not even coming.
So when you say somebody has been in the wilderness in pursuit of their vision, I'm one of them. Wow. It looked like, you know what?
Did you ever think of putting a hold on that? abandoning this dream? Because you are in London. A lot of people wish they are in the UK,
Yeah.
lecturing, and then you leave all of that
Yeah.
and say you are going to do speaking, changing the mindset of people.
You're doing training.
Doing trainings. Did it get to a time that you felt like I should give up on this?
Those things will always cross your mind.
Okay.
But this is where purpose comes in. When it's about purpose, every purpose comes with a level of grace. So it doesn't matter what you go through, you weather the storm. The reason why people start something today, they leave it, go and start something, another thing tomorrow, they leave it, go and start another thing the next day, is that it's not their purpose. Right? It's like telling Ronaldo or Messi that football is not for you. It will not work. It will not work. Right? So when you find your purpose, it doesn't matter the industry you find yourself in. You can't quit because it comes with its own level. You even have passion. It comes with its level of passion, level of love, level of strength, level of grace. That it doesn't matter what happens, you can't give up. The day even you want to give up, that is the day you didn't work hard. And I think that is what happened with me. That it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened because I love what I do. You can't give up.
Interesting. We'll be speaking to Mr. Oscar Bimpong. He is. So, how do you call yourself? A mindset revolutionist?
The mindset revolutionist of our time.
Of our time.
Yes.
Wow. Let's talk to the youth. Now that Ghana is in, I won't say crisis. I will say a lot of people have left Ghana. They are going through anxious moments. What would be your advice to someone who is unemployed? To someone who doesn't know where the next meal is coming from, to someone who is having purpose, but the purpose is trapped on the inside, someone who is feeling my hard work does not correlate with the amount of money that comes to me, someone who is at the point of rejecting, being rejected, is at the point of giving up on everything, even suicidal at this moment. What would be your advice for this person?
That's a very good question, Felix. But what I would say to that person is, lack of resources is not a means to give up or not a means to start. I love that. But lack of your resourcefulness.
They are not resourceful enough.
Okay.
Right? Look, I met a guy who on Instagram, right?
He just comes through Instagram looking for people that their product can sell. So he inbox you and you say, I want to sell more. I want to help you to sell. Who wouldn't accept that if somebody wants to help you to sell? Everybody, right? So what this guy will do is that you go and open a similar page, put your product
And services there, and he will start selling for you. Right? Now he put a little bit margin on it, and he will agree with you that you also give him a little bit margin, right? When somebody has bought the product, deliver, right? It means that the guy doesn't stock product, the guy doesn't deliver, the cost to the guy is zero, and this guy, I met him 3 years without no job, but today he's not running around with his CV.
That is what I'm talking about, resourcefulness. Now, a lot of people think Europe and America is the best place for us, as Africans, which I totally agree because they've solved a lot of their problems. But I want to say that where there are opportunities is in Africa. Why? Because this is the place that there are so many problems. Do you go to the market to buy problems?
So the problem you solve is what people buy. So if we are on a continent that there are so many problems, then it means that you can find one of our problems and solve. I'm sitting here solving only one problem of Africa, and that is the mindset.
Because Africa, we have proven that enough resources is not a means to wealth creation. Because we've got all the natural resources, but we inhabit the poorest people on earth. So what that tells you is that Africa, our problem, some people say if it is even leadership, but I say it's mindset. Because our leaders are an extension of the people. And if our leaders have been doing things in a certain way that we are not getting the results, then we need to go to the foundation, which is the mindset. Because if the mindset changes, then we can start breeding new leaders that are going to drive change. So what we need, if you're young, one, you need to be resourceful. You need to find one of our problems and solve. Now, the reason why a lot of people wait for a long time without really pursuing their vision is that they are always waiting to start big. Yesterday, I talked about the seed mentality on Joy FM. Go and have a look at it. The seed mentality is starting with what you have. What do you have in your hands? If God asks Moses, what do you have in your hands? What you have in your hands has got power. What do you have in you? Have you seen the seed? Right? Have you seen that tree here? Right? It's that small seed that gave power, that gave birth to that tree.
Okay.
Felix, what that tells you that the power is in the seed, not in the tree. So what you have in your hands has got the power to grow. But we always wait. Secondly, whatever you don't have, somebody has it in abundance. Can you leverage on a person? That the reason why most of us in this country cannot leverage on the resources of other people is because of honesty. Many of us in this country are not honest people. So because of that, people that have got resources are holding on to without sharing or allowing people to leverage on it. Look, some of my success story is that people recommended me because of honesty. It's a currency, it's a powerful tool, it's more than money. Because it can attract anything you want. But we don't harness those things. Right? If somebody gives you 1,000 cedis and you just use it anyhow.
For me, I think the problems are too many. We should find one of the problems and solve. I read an article where a young guy has done an app for Pragya in the north. You know, Uber is for taxis.
Yeah.
Glovo is for motor. Done one for Pragya. So you can have that app and Pragya will come in front of us and pick you up. This is innovation. This is solving the problem. I was in the north last week,
And everybody there is using motor and Pragya. It means that the guy has got a market. It's just being creative. You have to be creative. Because the problems are there. As a country, we like discussing problems without finding solutions to our problems. If you start seeing problems as opportunities, your mind will start be wiring towards finding solutions. And the solutions you put on the table, that is why people will buy.
Interesting. That was great and amazing. I know there are a lot of questions, but because of time, we'll do this again. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Thank you so much.
And also, if anybody wants me to work with the organization, my telephone number is 0355 803 924. 0355 803 924. We are just available. The company is going to Inspire Consultancy. Okay. Look, until the mindset of your staff changes, you will never be able to maximize your potential as an organization. We also work with the churches, because believe in me, the mindset of the church needs to change.
Exactly.
Because somebody will pray, fast for 21 days, saying I'm looking for a job, but he doesn't even have a CV.
he goes out there, look for a job 1 or 2 times, they say no to him, he comes to sleep, waiting for a miracle. It doesn't work that way. The person who doesn't pray is always on the street, and in 3 months he gets a job. You fasted for 21 days and you are still at home. It's about time we ask to prayer. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oscar Bimpong. And this is what we have to. And if you have any question for Mr. Oscar Bimpong in our next edition, we will be treating that. You can send it to the number showing on your screen, or you can send it. You can send us a message on YouTube, and definitely we will get to answer you on our next edition. My name is Felix Diaz. If you're watching us on television, there's a repeat on Saturday. If you're watching the repeat, go on YouTube too, on INSPIRATION, that is Inspiration with Felix Dazi, and you will be connected to whatever we are sharing today. And thank you so much, Mr. Oscar.
Thank you very much.
And the number is on your screen. You can call him for any consultancy work, anything that has to do with training, and he will be there for you. As I always say, your mind is the most powerful tool. Make sure you don't waste it. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.